Dear learners, welcome back to the learning. And in this video, right, we are going to discuss one important Java program which is frequently asked in multiple MNC interviews. So, where they will be given an array of integers in which, like, you need to count the number of valid pair with the given sum. For example, let's take this array first. So, because like we need to understand the program. So let's say they are giving like sum as 10. So which means like we need to find unique pair which will give the sum as 10. So for example 9 plus 1 will give the sum as 10, and this 8 plus 2 will give sum as 10, and 7 plus 3 will give sum as 10, and finally right 6 plus 4 will give the sum as 10. So these are the unique pair which is available in this particular array which will give sum as 10. And how we are going to convert this as a program? And before stepping to the program, right, so we need to know one basic mathematical concept. So we need to know about the complement. So what is mean by complement? So complement is nothing but they always say sum minus number. Okay. So what is mean by sum minus number? Let's say in a program they are telling the sum is a 10. Okay, that is the desired output we need. And what is meant by number? So number is nothing but the multiple values which is stored inside the particular integer array. And let's say let me just pick the first number. And if I pick the first number, right, what will be the output? The output will be 9. And this 9 is going to be complement for this particular number, which means like whenever the number is added to the complement, and if it is equal to the sum, right, so then we call them as a complement. Okay, so then the complement of 9 is 1. In similar way, like let's say I am just giving the number as 2, and this time, right, the output will be like 8. Now the 8 plus 2 is going to be equal to the sum. So which means the 8 is the complement of the 2. So if we find the complement, right, then we can easily find the unique pair. So generally complement refers to the number that when added up to the current number and which should equal to the desired sum, which is nothing but the target value, and here the target value is 10. Okay, so this is the one simple logic we are going to use inside our program. So now let me just copy this array and let me convert this as a program. Okay, so now this is an array like which I have created. Now we need to find the pair, which means like we need to do the repetitive action in this particular array. So whenever we are planning to do the repetitive action, obviously, right, we need the help of the loops. So I'm just using the either the traditional loop or for each loop. For easy way, I'm just using the for each loop. So whenever we are using the for each loop, right, so what we need to do? So we need to like provide the input and we need to specify the output type. So output is obviously going to be the integer. Okay, so I'm just specifying the type. Let it be kind of an output. Let me give the variable name as an output. Now we can able to read this entire array. Now what I need to do? So I need to find the complement. So we know what is a desired sum. So let's say the desired target value is 10. So let me initialize. So int target is equal to 10. Okay, so now what I need to do in order to find the pair, right, I need to find the complement. So let me just calculate the complement. So even for better understanding, let me give the variable name as a complement. Okay, so the complement is equal to what we need to do? So we need to like subtract the target minus this number, or else like for better understanding, let me give the variable name as a number. So we are going to subtract this is okay, and post that, right, we are going to check whether this particular complement is present in an array. So if so, right, we can pair the complement and we can pair the particular number. So for which I am going to seek help from the collection concept. So we can use the collection concept, either the list or the map. Okay, because where we need to store some value, right? So whenever we need to store a multiple values, obviously like we need to depend upon the collection concept. So we can use either the list or map. And why I'm not using the set in the sense, because in the set, right, it won't allow the duplicate value. So for example, in this array, right, so if there is a duplicate value, then it won't be considered when we try to store in a set. So that is the reason what I'm doing, I'm planning to use the list. So in the previous video, right, I have explained the syntax of the list. So let me use the array list. Okay, and inside the array list, right, I'm going to store the numerical value, and let me give the variable name as al is equal to new of array list. I'm creating the object for the particular thing. Now I need to set a condition. So what is the condition I need to set? So for example, like whatever the number I'm going to read, right, I'm just going to store it in a list. So if we store it in the list, right, then we are having the method called as a contains, and with the help of the contains method, we can verify whether the complement is present or not. So that's the reason what I'm going to do. Like I'm just going to add all the number into the particular array list. So I can say al dot with the help of the add method, right? So we can add the number. Now we need to validate whether the particular complement is present inside this list. So for which, right, let me add one condition. So let it be what is the variable name of the list? It is al, right? I can say al dot contains. With the help of the contains method, I can verify the complement. So in case if the particular complement is present inside the list, right, then obviously we can easily pair the number and the complement. So let me just add a sysout statement, and let me just add the output. So let me add the open and close parenthesis, and I'm just going to pair the complement. Okay, and then I'm going to pair the complement with the particular number. Okay, so let me add the number, and at the end, right, so let me add the close flipper bracket. Now let me just try to run the program and let us check the output. So now if we check the output, right, so we can able to find the pair. So like whatever the number which is pair, right, it used to print, it says 4 comma 6 3 comma 7 2 comma 8 1 comma 9. So how we get the output? So we need to understand the logic, right? So it is pretty simple. Like let me just add the breakpoint in all places. Okay, so now initially, like this list, right, it will be a empty list. And what we are going to do, so now let me just run the particular program in a debug mode, so that like we can able to understand so what it is happening in each and every line. So now first of all, it will try to like read one by one value from the array. So as a first step, as we have used the for each loop, right, it will pick the first number and it will be stored in the variable name called as a number. And if I just resume the program, right, so it will step into the particular block, and where the number is 1 and the target is 10. So then 10 minus 1 will be 9. So now the complement, it will check whether the particular complement is present inside the list. But till now, right, we haven't added anything inside the list. So obviously, right, it will be empty. So that is the reason here the condition fails, and here now we are adding the particular number into the list. So now the size of the list will increase to 1 and it will store the value called as an 1. And during the next run, okay, so this time it will pick the second. So now it will calculate the complement. So 10 minus 2, obviously the complement is 8. It will check whether the 8 is present. So now the size of the list is 1. So inside we are having like only one value called as an 1. Then it will check whether 8 is present. Obviously 8 is not present, right? So then it won't step into this particular block. Now it will add the number 2 inside the list. Now the size will grow automatically. Now size is 2. Now if I just resume the program once again, in similar way, it will pick the number 3, it will calculate the complement, it will verify whether the complement is present. As the complement is not present, like it will add the particular value into the list. In similar way, right, it will keep on iterate. So now the number is 4, and again it is not present inside the complement, it will add the value. So likewise during each and every run, right, it will check the complement, and if the complement number is not present inside the array list, right, it won't step into the condition. So now at one particular point the complement may be present inside the list. So let's take, so now it is passing the number as in 6. Now like what is the target output is 10. So 10 minus 6 is obviously 4, right? Now this particular 4 is already added into the list, right? Then here the condition matches. Now it will step into the loop. And what is the complement? The complement is 4. And what is the number? The number is 6. Because I told, like when we tell them as a complement, so whenever the sum of complement and number equals to the target. So now here the complement is 4 and the number is 6. So which means they are forming the pair. So that is the reason it has stepped into the particular block and it will print the output 6 comma 4. So now in similar way, like it will add the number 6 into the list, and again it will iterate the next number, it will pick the 7 and it will find the complement, and this time, right, the complement will be 3. So now obviously the 3 is present inside the list because we have already added the 3. So now as it is present inside the list, right, this condition is true. Now it will step into the particular block, right? Now the complement is 3 and the number is 7. So 7 and 3 makes the pair 10. So likewise, the loop will iterate till the condition is satisfied, till the condition fails. So whenever the condition fails, right, so the for loop will terminate, which is nothing but it will work on the hashness principle. So after this last value, so it won't work. And here, right, we as we are keep on adding the value inside the list, right, so with the help of the contains method we are checking whether the complement is present or not. So whenever the complement is present inside the list, it indicates it is going to form the pair. So by the way, like we can able to like find all the pair in the particular array. Now if you notice, it has find all the pair in the particular array. So even like if you like provide in a different way, so let's say I'm just providing 10 comma 1 comma 2, so till the program will works. So even now the program will work. So the reason is like because we are adding the values inside the list and then we are comparing. Okay, we are setting up the condition so where it will check the presence of complement inside the list. So whenever the complement is present, right, so the complement and the number makes the pair, which is nothing but it is equal to the target. So either you can use this array list, but in this place, right, we can't use the set. But if you are planning to use the map, right, so even we can use the map. So let me just replace this particular thing with the help of the hash map. But whenever we are using the map, right, it always follow the key to value pair. So which means like we need to specify two type. So let me specify integer comma integer, and how we can add multiple values inside the map in the sense with the help of the put method. And with the help of the put method, like I'm adding the multiple values, so which means we are injecting the key, and here we don't have any values, right? So every time I can set it as a null. Okay, so because like we know the hash map will accept the null value, so the key should be always the unique, but it will always accept the null value. So that is what I have explained in my previous video. Now as it is of a list, we have used the contains method, and in case of a map, right, so there is an another method called as an contains key, because we are validating the key. So which is nothing but all the complements. Okay, so it will check whether the particular complement is present in the particular key. Okay, by the way, right, we can able to easily find the pair. Even if I run this program, it is going to provide me the same level of output. So this is a simple syntax which we can use to find the pair. So even if they change the target value, right? So for example, let's say if they are changing the target value as 8, right? And if I run the program, so it will give me the output which will make the pair as an 8. If you notice, so 3 plus 5 is 8, 7 plus 1 is 8, and 6 plus 2 is 8. Okay, so how the program became simple in the sense with the simple mathematical concept called as a complement. So complement is nothing but like whenever the sum of complement and the number equal to the desired output, right? So then we can tell them as a complement, which means the complement and the number makes the pair. Okay, so hope you have understand this program. So still if you have any doubts, right, you can just re-repeat this program by adding the breakpoints, and you can understand the logics. Okay, and in the upcoming videos let me come up with the new program, so which is asked in the MNC interviews. Thank you all.